Namaste everyone.
Namaste everyone.
Welcome to the first flow class that we are conducting on YouTube. My name is Priyan, and then
I'm Yuko.
assisting me today, Yuko Nakamura, who has been teaching for us for 1.5 years now. And it is going to be a 45-minute practice. Feel free to incorporate a small grounding session at the start for yourself and a nice long Shavasana at the end to take it into a 60-minute practice. It is going to be incorporating straight arm strength, which is the theme for our class last week. We were practicing last week in the basic class the side plank pose, the Vasisthasana. And in essential class, we were going into that really awkward pose, Lolasana, or the dangling earring, to get really the strength in our upper body. And then in intermediate, we were trying to explore crane pose, which is Bakasana, very much like a crow pose, but with straight arms. And let's see if all three poses can be incorporated into a really fun but challenging sequence for ourselves as we breathe and move together. So thank you. So begin your practice from a seated position. Close the eyes. And start to connect with the natural air that is entering and leaving your body from moment to moment. Become a little bit active in your breath now. Make every inhale an opportunity to take more air into the body. And your exhale is active. You are pulling your navel in, drawing the air out. Good. Inhale and think about the expansion of your rib cage. Exhale. Navel drawing inwards towards your spine. One more breath in. Big, beautiful, broad chest. Good. Exhale and then firmness in the lower belly and pelvic floor. That is your Uddiyana and Mula Bandha. Maintaining the bandhas. Inhale. Good. The sound in your breath like the ocean. Exhale. That is the Ujjayi breath. Try to regulate your breath with the Ujjayi. Good. Next, inhale. Let's begin movement. Lifting the chin. The shoulders roll back and the heart gently opening. And then with the exhale, chin drops down to the chest. The shoulders come forward carefully now, rounding your back. Good. With the breath, inhale. And explore arching your spine. With the breath, exhale, rounding, dropping the chin down. Take your time to breathe as you move. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful. Next, inhale, we deepen the movement. Start to lift your arms up, opening up the chest and shoulders. And then exhale, lean forward, reach forward, bringing the body all the way down to the mat. Staying connected with the breath, inhale. Use your strong back muscles to lift your way back up again. Beautiful. Exhale, lengthening forwards towards the mat. Again, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lengthen, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Really connect with that Ujjayi. It's going to help you find the support you need for your practice. Next, inhale, arms up again. Beautiful. Now extend arms forward, parallel with the mat, pointing the fingers. Let's go into the stretching and opening of our wrists. Inhale, lifting the fingers up. Okay, extend your arms forward, parallel with the mat. Good. Inhale, lifting the fingers up. And then one finger joint at a time, curl your way into a fist and dropping the fist down gently, going into your full range of motion. Inhale, then lifting the hands up, one finger joint at a time, again, opening the palms. And exhale, curl into a fist, dropping the fist down, again, full range of motion. So we do this a few more times. Inhale, lift, and spread the fingers. Exhale, curl, and drop your fists. Good. Inhale, up, Exhale down. You are feeling here the awakening of the muscles in the forearm as you stretch and open the wrist. Let's do this one more round. Inhale. Beautiful. Exhale, come down. And then inhale, relaxing the arms. You can bring the hands down to the mat in front of you for hands and knees, which is your tabletop pose. Hands and knees position. Good. And taking a moment here to stretch out your wrists with the palms flat in Hasta Bandha. That means that you are not going to lift the inner palms of the palms off the mat. Your fingers are spread not too wide apart. Actively having a firm foundation. Good. Start to rock your way left and right from your foundations and forwards and back. In maybe circular directions, clockwise and anti-clockwise. Good. Go ahead, point your fingers out away from each other and again start to rock and open up your wrists. Beautiful. Fingers turn back, deepening the stretch. Gently leaning back but trying to keep the palms flat. And then when you're ready, let's have the hands in their correct position, stacked on the mat underneath the shoulders. Keeping the palms flat in Hasta Bandha and your arms are straight. Broad shoulders. Now think about only movement in the shoulders while keeping the rest of the body firm and stable. So inhale gently, allow the chest to sink down between the arms. And on the exhale, push your heart away from the mat, broadening across your shoulders. Again, inhale, sink down. Exhale, push away from the mat. Good. Connected with the breath, inhale. And there is a retraction in the scapula, feel it between your shoulder blades. Exhale, push away from the mat. Good. In the protraction of the scapula, experience like broadness. Next position, inhale, lift the shoulders up towards your ears. Good. On the exhale, shoulders away from the ears. And again, try to move with the breath. Inhale, taking your time. Beautiful. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears, your neck is long. One more round. Inhale as if saying, I don't know. And exhale, long neck. Now combine all four of these movements down. On the inhale, allow the chest to sink. Bring shoulders up towards the ears. On the exhale, push the heart away from the mat and drop the shoulders away from the ears. Looking downwards can facilitate this movement. Good. And you are trying now to go into the full range of motion in your shoulders. Beautiful. As we do so, please be mindful to keep the firm and stable support of your spine. Connected with your breath. Staying present, you have your gaze somewhere on the mat. And your visual discipline can only contribute to a beautiful, stable practice. Now change direction, try the opposite way. Good. Feel the awakening of your shoulders. Always keep the palms flat. It is the safety of your wrists. And let's come back to neutral position. So curling the toes under the feet. Now start to lift your knees 1 inch off the mat. Staying here. Good. And feeling here the beautiful awakening of the core. Now as we hold the pose, we are not holding the breath. Your ujjayi breathing can support and facilitate in this regard. So inhale. Again, broadness in the chest. Exhale, the navel draw inwards as if navel trying to kiss your spine, really awaken your bandhas. Let's take 2 more breaths together. Inhale. Good. Exhale. 1 last breath in. Beautiful. Exhale, now move back to your first downward facing dog. Beautiful. Go ahead and walk it out, left and right, heels and toes. With one knee bent, the opposite leg straight, we are switching and switching perhaps. Maybe your hips sway side to side, maybe one shoulder towards the mat at a time. Good, then come up on tiptoes on the inhale, and then bringing the heels down to the mat on the exhale. Bring yourself to the best down dog that you can maintain at this point in your practice, staying connected with the breath and your dristi, which is your gaze. Good. If you have lost the ujjayi at this point, please bring it back. The expansion on the inhale the firmness on the exhale. Even think about the lengthening of your spine on the inhale. On the exhale, you root down firmly into the four corners of the hands and the feet. Now let's come up on tiptoes together. Inhale, hips high. Good. Bring knees to chest as we look forwards. Exhale. Next inhale, we step carefully to the front of the mat. Find length in the spine in a halfway lift. Good. Exhale. Forward bend, bringing belly down towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards chin. Inhale, now use your strong back muscles to lift all the way up, and we follow with the gaze, arms overhead. Exhale, coming back down to the mat, hands down in a forward bend. Good. Halfway lifting, inhale, working with the breath. Exhale, step back, plank pose, Bakasana. Legs are straight, actively lift your knees and hug your thighs inwards so that the lower body is as active as the upper body in this pose. Maintain the connection between the ribs and the hips and keep your broad shoulders hugging the arms in as you broaden them outwards. Always from a firm and stable foundation of the palms flat. Now we work with the breath and we move with the breath. On the exhale, see if you can rock your way back to downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, rocking back forwards, plank pose. Again, exhale back, down dog. Find the transition with your breath. Inhale, rocking forward, plank pose position. Good. The option here, perhaps you can move one vertebrae at a time. Exhale to down dog. Slowly, gently, carefully articulate that spine. Inhale. Again, one vertebrae at a time with your back rounding like an angry cat until the spine feels long and the shoulders broad. And then take your deep, long breath to move it back. Downward facing dog position. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale. Plank pose. Beautiful. Exhale. Downward facing dog. And really developing that muscle memory of what it feels like to be flexing the spine. Now come up on tiptoes on the inhale. And bring knees to the chest. Exhale, looking forward to the next inhale. Again, step your way carefully to the front of the mat. Left foot, right foot. Exhale, forward bend. Bring belly down towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards shin. Good. Raise yourself up to standing using your strong back muscles. Arms overhead and following with the gaze. Exhale, come back down to the mat again, forward bending. Good. With the halfway lift, inhale, lengthen. Exhale again, step back to your plank pose position, high push-up. Inhale from plank to a downward facing dog. Connect with your breath. Exhale, rock forward, plank pose. Good. This time on the inhale, from a downward facing dog with the left leg lifted. So three-legged dog. And from a three-legged dog, exhale again, rocking forwards to plank. Have that left knee come forwards towards the chest. You want the left knee as close to the chest as you can, with the foot close to the hip. Good. Taking it back, three-legged dog, inhale. And both feet down to downward facing dog. Beautiful. Now the right leg, inhale, up. And on the exhale, as you rock forward, bring the right knee into the chest and let's have the shoulders stacked above the wrist. Good. Taking it back to three-legged dog, inhale. And bringing both feet down, exhale. Connect with the breath. Inhale, left leg, lift. Beautiful. Exhale, left knee to chest. Inhale, extend it back strongly with length. Exhale, left foot down. Good. One last round. Right leg up. Inhale. Right knee come forwards. Exhale. Strong and broad shoulders. Take it back on the inhale. Good. Both feet down. Exhale. Now coming up on tiptoes. Inhale with the hips high. Again, bring knees to chest, looking forwards on the exhale. Step carefully back to the front in a halfway lift. Inhale, and let's have the hands slide under your feet with the palms facing upwards. You can do this with the feet slightly wider apart. Vasisthasana, going with the toes all the way to the creases of the wrist. Take one breath like this. Inhale, look up and find length. And maintain that length. Exhale, come forwards all the way down with the crown of the head, trying to reach the big toes. Elbows pulling out the sides because you were trying to remove the hands out actively from underneath your feet, and that is how we create leverage in this position. And this pose also is going to help us release tension in our wrists from all our arm support work. Good. Connect with the breath. Inhale, finding more length. Exhale, deepening the stretch. Beautiful. Okay, that'll do. Release the hands out from underneath the feet. Bring feet back together again. Take one halfway lift. Inhale. Perhaps we hop back this time on the exhale, but land lightly. Feet together at the back of the mat. Good. Let's come down to a Chaturanga, a low push-up. This can be done with knees on the mat for less intensity. And on the upward dog, inhale. Arms straight with the hips slightly lifted. And exhale, back, downward facing dog. Good. Now lift your left leg up to three-legged dog again. Exhale, bringing that left knee forwards to the chest, just like what we did earlier. Again, three-legged dog on the inhale. And this time on the exhale, send that left foot all the way forwards to the front of the mat between the hands. And take one breath to extend the arms upwards for a high lunge pose. Beautiful, with a strong front leg, straight back leg. That'll do. Exhale, place both hands down. And taking the left foot back to plank pose. Good. From plank, elbows bent. Chaturanga can be done with knees on the mat. Inhale, up dog. Good. You can do a cobra to modify. And then exhale to downward facing dog, straight spine. Now right leg, inhale up for a three-legged dog. Good. The knee to the chest. Exhale, connect the movement with your breath. Again, bring it back. Inhale, lengthen that right leg. And this time, send that right foot through. Exhale with the right foot between the hands on the mat. Inhale, arms up, opening of the chest and the shoulders. Find that length. Good. Bring hands down. Exhale, we step back from plank. Elbows bent, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths now in downward dog. So just a reminder, as we go into this flow practice, you are perfectly okay if you wish to take an option of skipping these vinyasas, which are these little movements to take you to downward facing dog. You can just come directly to down dog. So modify this practice and feel free to then change it to suit the intensity you need. Good. At the tip toes, inhale, come up. Bring knees to chest, look forward, exhale. Next, inhale, stepping carefully back to the front. Left foot, right foot forwards. Exhale, forward bend. Good. Bend your knees, this time chair pose position, sitting deep in that chair. Lengthen lower back, arms open. And let's bring it back down. Exhale, the thighs move back. Inhale, halfway lift. Beautiful. Step left foot, right foot back, or maybe a hop back. From a plank pose, you have the option to do a vinyasa or just come to downward facing dog. Your choice of practice, your level of intensity. Like what we did earlier, left leg up, three-legged dog, inhale. Good, bring that left knee to the chest, exhale, really find that muscle memory of a strong tuck. Take it back on the inhale, send that left foot through, on the exhale, setting the foot down in front of you. Rise to a high lunge pose on the inhale, and then on the exhale, turn to the right, arms extended, back heel grounding, strong front leg, straight back leg. Warrior two. Good. Inhale, reach forward, lengthening the left side of the body, left arm comes up, right arm down your back leg, reversing your warrior. Exhale, left elbow to the knee and start to extend the right arm forwards. Good. Try to remain light on that supporting arm and work on creating length in the right side of the body. Next, inhale, reversing the warrior again. Inhale. Good. On the exhale, again, your side angle pose, but if you wish, you are going to take the option this time to also extend your left arm forward. Good. Staying with the breath and the ujjayi can help you find the deep support you need to maintain this pose with firmness but with ease at the same time. And keep the heart revolving upwards so that you are not collapsing in this pose. Shaking of the legs, shaking of the arm, perfectly fine. Stay connected with the intensity, as equanimous as you can. Good, and let's release. Place the left hand down, and then the right hand to the hip. Now you want the left knee dropping down to the mat, to a Bakasana. This is a gate pose position. Supported on the left knee and lifting the left arm up and over to the right like a reverse warrior. Again, like a reverse warrior. Feel free to slide the right arm down your back leg. Good. And on the exhale, let's bring that left hand down in position with the right hand to the hip. Slide the left knee further back to find a supported side plank pose. Good. And when you're ready, the next inhale extends the right arm upwards and you follow with your gaze. Good. In your supported side plank, work to be as light as you can on the supporting knee. Or to even take the option, like what Yuko is doing right here, that you are going to even challenge yourself to lift that left leg off the mat, either with the left knee in a tucked position, or you might extend that left foot forwards and stay in balance. And even as you hold the pose, let's not hold the breath. Still, the intensity of the ujjayi is going to help you find the strength and stability you need. Let's stay here for one deep inhale. Exhale, both hands down, taking that leg back. Three-legged dog position. So inhale, go back. Beautiful. Exhale, chest forward to plank pose. And you have the option here doing a vinyasa or just moving back to downward facing dog. Connected with your breath. Straight spine and heels grounding. Beautiful practice. Let's try again. Now the right leg. Inhale, up. Beautiful. Bring knee to the chest. Exhale, tuck. Still the ujjayi is flowing. Inhale, back. Beautiful. Beautiful transition now. Right foot forward. Exhale. High lunge pose. Inhale. Open chest and shoulders. Warrior two. Turn to the left, arms extending. Exhale. The drishti is towards the right shoulder. Reach forward the right arm. Inhale. Reverse your warrior. Beautiful. Lengthening out into the outward curve, but minimizing the collapse into the inner curve. And then down to a side angle. Next, exhale the elbow lightly against the knee, please. Top arm is making a straight line from the back heel to the fingertips. Beautiful. Again, reverse that warrior. Inhale, connecting with the breath. Good. Side angle again, and this one has the option of challenging you to extend both arms forward. Good. Stay revolving the body upwards. Soften the face. Keep the lips closed, the breath through the nostrils. Inhale into the rib cage. Exhale, draw the navel inwards. Okay, one breath together. Inhale. Okay. Exhale, let's release down with the knee to the mat. Bakasana, gate pose. Good, stretch it out. Inhale, like a reverse warrior. Good. And exhale, bringing down the right hand to the mat. Inhale, opposite arm up, and let's have the knee go back gently, gently, gently into a supported side plank position. Good, and you are challenging yourself to be as light on the supporting leg as you can. If not, maybe you are lifting that leg off the mat, you don't need it anymore. You are a strong, strong yogi. Very nice, and perhaps even, leg extending. Again, not holding the breath as we hold the pose. And perhaps we can take 2 breaths together. Inhale, open chest. Exhale, navel drawn in. We have one more breath here. Inhale. Good. Exhale, both hands down to 3-legged dog. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, perhaps a vinyasa. Or just resting in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Good. So the side plank, which we were practicing in the previous week's theme in our basic level classes. Now let's move towards more intermediate poses now. So from your down dog, can we lift the left leg up again to 3-legged dog? So here is a challenge with the palms flat on the mat, ensuring that you always have a firm, stable and healthy foundation. So taking care of the wrist, can we work on walking the hands back slowly towards the bottom foot? Walk back, walk back, walk back. And if you have really tight hamstrings, the bottom knee can be slightly bent or with the hands supported on blocks. And as you are moving the body down to the bottom leg, you are also trying to lift the top leg strongly. And you are going to ensure the squareness of your hips by hugging those legs inwards. Beautiful. And you have made your transition then to a standing split. I'm going to take a few breaths here, exploring the pose from the inside, creating that beautiful open hamstring in the bottom leg and really awakening the posterior chain on the back leg. Good. Let's do one nice transition of bringing the left knee in towards the chest, and as you come forward with that left leg extending, bend your right knee. Good. And you will find yourself down on the mat sitting. Good. Arms up on the inhale. Reach forward with both hands on the exhale, coming to Asana, clasping the foot with the hands. Take a breath in, look up, inhale, and deepen the stretch on the exhale. Staying here with the hands clasping that left leg. Or take the option, if you wish, you will start your bound position by wrapping the right arm around the leg and trying to catch your left wrist, if not the wrist, then the fingertips from behind the body. Again, take one breath in, look up. Exhale, try touching the chin to the shin in this pose. Good, connecting with your breath. And staying present in your practice. There is a lengthening with every inhale and a deepening on the exhale. Good, looking up with the next inhale, nice straight spine. Exhale, relax and unbind. So placing the hands now in position as far forward onto the mat as you can. And you are going to coordinate leaning forward with pushing from the right leg. Inhale, transitions you up to a pyramid pose. Beautiful. Exhale, hamstring stretching will be done with the crown of the head trying to touch your knee today. So this is not something we always do. But today we want to really go into the feeling of the flexion of your spine, which is that your spine starts to round out like an angry cat and then start to incorporate the broadness across your shoulders protracted, and walking the hands back, back, back. Press down strongly into the 5 fingers and see if you can bring the right knee in towards the chest. And noticing here, you are perfectly fine to just touch the toes of the mat behind you to support. But if you feel strong today, start to pick up your right foot, the heel towards buttock, and you will find a full expression of the humble flamingo pose. Let's stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, good, and 1. Set the back leg down. Walk the hands forwards to the front of the mat. Swing that left leg back. 3-legged dog. Inhale. Beautiful. Rock forward for a vinyasa on the exhale, or just come to downward facing dog. And at this point of the practice, perhaps you might just want to just hold the child's pose as well. Stay there for a few breaths. Good. Now right leg. Inhale up. Stay in your 3-legged dog, and we are going to once again work on staying stable on our palms, nice and flat, walking the hands back, one hand at a time. Always feeling into what the wrists are doing, ensure everything is comfortable and stable. And we are here in a standing split. Again, just a reminder, you can facilitate your pose with blocks supporting the hands if the hamstrings are tight, or perhaps with the bottom knee slightly bent. Mindful that you are continuing to lift strongly the top leg though to gain all the benefits of your glute and posterior chain activation. Good, and let's stay for one more breath. So bringing the right knee down to the chest like before, and slowly making the transition as you extend the right leg forward, left leg bends until the buttock reaches the mat in a seated position. Asana, again, both arms up on the inhale. Lengthen forward on the exhale and see if the hands can clasp the foot. 1 breath to lengthen, 1 breath to deepen. Good. And staying here, or those of us that wish, you can have the option to explore finding left arm wrapped around the leg, clasping the right wrist from behind the body. Again, 1 breath to lengthen, 1 breath to deepen. Good. And stay present as you hold this pose with the continuity of your breathing. Beautiful. Then when you're ready, let's bring it back up again. Inhale. Exhale as you release. Walk your hands forward in position. Next, inhale to transition your way up to pyramid with your strong legs. Good. Exhale with a rounded back, tucking the chin to the chest and trying to bring the head to touch your knee. Good. And it's interesting to note that this is actually the classical way of doing forward bends, with the flexion of the spine, so that we are also stretching out our spine as we stretch the hamstrings. And again, the hands reach back slowly, grounding down into the 5 fingers. Start to slowly bring the back knee into the chest, and keeping the toe to the mat is a beautiful way of progressing your way into finally, one day, picking the foot up. Beautiful. Stay connected with that strong Ujjayi breath. Broad, broad shoulders. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bringing that left leg down to the back of the mat, sending the right foot up to 3-legged dog. Inhale. Beautiful. Let's do one final vinyasa. Or just come to down dog. Good. Then from your down dog, let's bring one forearm down to the mat, elbow bent, or both forearms together. And this is a dolphin pose. From a dolphin, go ahead and try walking the feet forward slightly more, and at the same time bringing the chest backwards towards the feet. And this will go into a beautiful shoulder opening and start to really awaken at the front of your hips. Preparing ourselves then for an arm balance pose. So from your dolphin position, now think about bringing the chest forward slightly more as you look at the space between the hands. As you come forward, the upper body moving forwards, keep the shoulders broad, keep actively pushing the heart away from the mat. Now try to bring one knee into one armpit, rounding the back to achieve this, and perhaps both knees. Good. Both knees, 1 foot off the mat, and perhaps both feet. Finding your balance here, baby crow pose. Good. See if you can really incorporate a strong flexion of the spine like we were doing earlier in our humble flamingo posture. Good, with the back rounding like an angry cat. Feel that you are really trying to suck your knees up into the armpits. Strong flexion. And that'll do. You can come down directly to rest in child's pose position on the mat. Take a moment here, resting. Good. Allowing the breath to come back, but stay connected with the Ujjayi. From here would be a practice of Lolasana, which is the dangling earring pose. We practiced this in our essential class from last week. So taking the option here, it's always easier to incorporate your blocks. You will be using the blocks with the hands on the blocks, and perhaps you use a strap as well to keep your legs bound. Is going to facilitate the lift of the body. Good. And then bringing the blocks in at the level of your knees. Shoulder width distance not too wide apart. Palms on the blocks with the fingers curled, and that will keep the wrists, keep the pressure of your wrists. And then you are going to lean forward on the exhale as you pick your hips up as high as possible and work to really bring the knees into the chest and the feet to the buttocks. So those of us that wish, instead of using the strap, you can also modify this pose by keeping your toes on the mat and only work on lifting the knees to the chest, or perhaps with 1 foot on the mat and 1 leg tucked, maybe both legs. Let's stay for 1 more breath. Good. Exhale, relax. Wow, that was beautiful. Good. And resting the body, child's pose position. Beautiful practice. When you're ready, let's come up to a kneeling position and have the palms together, and then work on reversing the hands. Good. And this is going to take the pressure and decompress your wrists. And with the inhale, let's take those arms upwards. On the exhale, reach and lengthen forwards down towards the mat. All the way down to the mat in front of you. And then inhale, coming back up again. Exhale all the way forwards and come down. Good. Connecting with the breath. Inhale, bring it back up and open the chest. Exhale, lengthening forwards, coming down to the mat. And let's do this one more round. Inhale, feeling the release of the wrists. This time on the exhale, bring the arms down to the mat behind you. Good. Leaning back into the hands with the fingertips forwards. Inhale, open the heart from this position. Exhale, you can drop the chin down to the chest and round your back. Good. Connecting with the breath. Inhale again, open the heart. And the option here of lifting the hips up away from the ankles of the feet. Beautiful. Exhale again, round the back, drop the chin down. One last time. Inhale, opening back up again. Maybe the hips lifted, and then with the option here of slowly, carefully crawling the hands forward to take you into a full camel pose. But maybe not. Good. And then exhale, have the hands on the mat. Prepare ourselves now to try the crane pose, which is Bakasana. Crane pose is a really challenging arm balance because it requires us to practice a crow pose shape with straight arms. So here you can set yourself up by stepping on blocks to keep the hips lifted, to see if that can facilitate you bringing yourself into this shape. Good. And an additional block in front of you could be a psychological advantage here, so that you feel that your face is not going to crash, dive into the mat. Okay, hands on the mat, hips up, knees go into the armpits as high as you can. The back rounding like an angry cat. Keep the arms as straight as you can and lean forwards. Good. Light on the heels of the palms is very forgiving on the wrists. 1 foot lift. Stay there with 1 foot on the mat. Or perhaps 2 feet up. Oh, very challenging pose. And start with your straight arms. Good. So this is not a crow pose with the arms bent. And that is the challenge, that you have to really go into the strength of your shoulders and core. Leaning forward with the toes on the blocks touching. And if you feel strong enough, perhaps you are lifting 1 foot off the mat, perhaps 2 feet. And trying to maintain this position for a minimum of 5 breaths. Good. Good. Again, from a child's pose, let's bring ourselves up to kneeling position. Have your hands together in prayer, and let's do our wrist rotations. Inhale up. Exhale, come forwards. Beautiful, releasing tension in the wrist all the way down to the mat in front of you. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, lengthening forwards. Beautiful. Last one. Inhale up. Bring hands to the mat behind you again. And if we didn't catch the full camel pose earlier, perhaps we can do it now. Good. Start from a high kneeling position. Support the back with the hands, elbows hugging inwards. Lean forward while hugging those thighs inwards, finding the height of the chest as you maintain a healthy length in the lower back. You can just stay with the hands supporting the lower back, or like Yuko, perhaps you want to start to reach for the heels of the feet. Holding the heels of the feet with the little fingers in, thumbs out. Lifting the gaze if the neck feels comfortable, otherwise you can also keep the chin close to the chest. Now find a way of breathing in this pose so that you can comfortably maintain. Go into the chest with every inhale, spread and lift your ribcage. Pull the navel inwards towards your spine on the exhale. Good. Stay for one more breath. And slowly release gently as you bring it back down. Your child's pose could be with the knees wide apart so that the spine is straight. Arms extend forward or down your sides. Relaxing the body, feeling the effects. Beautiful. From child's pose, let's rock forward to a tabletop position And let's do a twist. With the palms flat underneath the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Inhale, lifting that left arm upwards and opening to the left. Exhale, start to wrap the left arm under and to the right. Beautiful, until the left shoulder is on the mat. Now extending right arm forwards, forwards, forwards on the mat. Crawl the fingertips all the way to the opposite corner. Breathe and focus on creating length in the right side of the body, moving the right hip away from the shoulder. Experiencing then a beautiful stretching of both your shoulders. Take a few breaths here. Good, and then bringing it back up again. Exhale, both arms straight. Inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, right arm goes under and to the left, extending until the right shoulder grounding. Left arm stretch forward, and then crawling the fingertips all the way to the opposite corner of the mat. Good, and create that beautiful stretch across both your shoulders. Staying with the lengthening feeling in the left side of your body. And that'll do. Exhale, release slowly back to tabletop pose. And let's come down seated, so with the feet forwards on the front of the mat, legs straight. Dandasana pose. If we are not at the front of the mat, can we bring ourselves forward? Good. Paschimottanasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lengthen forward. If you can, clasping the feet with the hands or keeping the knees slightly bent for the comfort of your lower back. Take one breath in. Look up. Inhale. As you exhale, separating the sit bones as you glide the heels forward. Beautiful. Bring belly down towards thigh, chest towards knee, chin towards chin. Spend the next few breaths lengthening the spine. Good, then you're ready. Let's bring it back up again on the inhale. On the exhale, let's slowly round our back to lie flat on the mat, lifting the legs up in the air for a gentle inversion. Viparita Karani. Staying here, those of us that wish might start to even lift the hips up, rolling the hips over the shoulders for Halasana, Plow Pose. The toes do not reach the mat. Perhaps you can use a wall behind you to support. So as you clasp your hands together, you are walking the shoulders underneath the chest to find a very stable foundation in the upper body. Taking the weight on shoulders, triceps and elbows to avoid too much pressure in the back of the neck or head. Always you are looking upwards in this pose. Avoid the head going left or right. Good, and if you want a shoulder stand, perhaps you are supporting the back with the hands as you lengthen the legs upwards. Active now to hug those legs inwards towards each other and guide the entire body upwards towards the ceiling, finding that length actively. Good. A few more breaths. And when you're ready, let's bring it down, one vertebrae at a time towards the mat. Upper back, middle back, lower back, legs down slowly. Good, then have the arms and legs spread comfortably wide with toes out, heels in, palms facing upwards and eyes closing. And we have reached the end of our sequence, so now relaxing from the Ujjayi. Instead, an abdomen breath, inhaling into the belly. Exhale, soften your way into the mat. Taking as long as you need now in Shavasana. So thank you very much for joining this sequence. Stay safe, practice with joy in the body and peace in the heart. Namaste and see you soon.